Kayaking is like physically demanding, and it hurts your shoulders and your core and your elbows, and you just gotta keep going. And sometimes on kayaking trips, nothing is gonna go the way that you expect it to, and plans will change, and you'll miss your takeout, or you'll go down the wrong path on a rapid, and it's just not everything is gonna be perfect, and you just gotta go with the flow.
On June 12th, 2025, 15-year-old Tasia Linwood set out to kayak 310 miles down the Klamath River from southern Oregon to the coast of northern California. She went with several other young Indigenous kayakers from different tribes who live along the river. Their journey marked the first descent of the Klamath after the removal of 4 dams, which her community had fought for decades.
It wasn't a choice to do the first descent or to not do the first descent. It was something that I had to do, not only for myself, but for my family and for my ancestors and for the people who went before me and didn't get to see the river undammed. And that's why I was doing it, and that's why I kept going.
I'm Shelby Stanger, and this is Wild Ideas Worth Living, an REI Co-op Studios production presented by Capital One and the REI Co-op MasterCard. The Klamath River has always been a big part of Tasia's life. She learned how to swim in it, how to drive alongside it, and she even dances on its banks for a tribal ceremony every year. Her community has long caught salmon in its waters. A few years ago, Tasia's godbrothers participated in a camp with Paddle Tribal Waters, an organization that teaches Indigenous youth how to kayak. After seeing their experience, Tasia's aunt encouraged her to try it out.
My aunt was like, Tasia, you should do this. Like, it's awesome. Like, it's only 2 weeks. If you don't like it, you'll get to learn how to kayak. You'll be on the salmon and Klamath River. It's really amazing. So I did it. Me and my older brother went on this program. And at the time, my other older brother was a junior counselor, so it was awesome. And I got to learn how to kayak on the Klamath River.
What'd you think of kayaking?
What did I think of kayaking? Oh my God, it was actually so scary.
Tell me about that first time.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever kayaked. So that first 2 weeks was like pretty easy, but it was just like, it was my first time ever like whitewater kayaking. And I mean, like, kind of kayaking in general. I'd kayaked a couple times before that, but it was not like professional kayaking. Like, I didn't have a spray skirt or like a helmet or anything. So during that 2-week program, the last 3 days, you go on a kayaking trip. So it's like a 3-day overnight. You go and you camp along the river bar and are like raft supported, and you like go kayaking. And on the very last day of this 2-week program, I flipped really bad and I forgot my training. When you flip, you're supposed to roll, but I didn't know how to roll. So you're supposed to like pop your skirt because you're wearing this skirt that keeps you in the kayak and keeps the water out. And so I forgot my training and I didn't pop my skirt. And instead I kicked myself out of the boat. I hit my head, which I was wearing a helmet. I hit my head just on the back of my kayak. And I got super bruised up, like really bad, on my leg because I kicked myself out of the kayak. And I got really scared. And I was like, oh my God, I do not want to kayak ever again. But I did anyways. And that's on having brothers. And I probably wouldn't have if I didn't have them there. But here we are. And now I kayak and it's awesome. But that was really, really scary. And it hurt pretty bad, and I had a like very physical reminder for a very long time after that.
Yeah, there's so much there. One, brave of you and awesome that you did this. Also, what a cool thing for kids to do. Like, this sounds like an incredible organization. Also, yes, having brothers, super annoying, but they push you, it sounds like.
Yeah, they do.
And they got you back out there.
Yeah. I know. Very grateful for them, actually. Just can't tell them.
At the end of the 2-week camp, Tasia and the other young kayakers were offered a very meaningful opportunity. They were invited to apply for a chance to join the first descent of the Klamath River. For years, the river had been blocked by dams, but by 2025, most of them were finally removed. It was a historic moment that local tribes had been advocating for decades. Tasia understood how important this was for her community, so she applied and then trained hard for 2 years.
We did this part as a celebration and part as a form of protest and activism. And I also did this a lot for my family and for my ancestors. I'm Karuk Okanagan, Ojibwe, Wampanoag, and To'ono O'odham. Specifically right now, I'm talking about the Karuk people who are from where like the Salmon River and the Klamath River meet is like right where I'm from.
I don't think everybody understands the significance of removing these dams. Why were they there in the first place?
Yeah, so the dams got first put in over 100 years ago. They were put in for hydroelectricity, which isn't a good energy source, kind of just like in general, period, because of its effects on both the land and the people. And because hydroelectricity is obviously like taking water, and water is called a renewable source, and that's why dams are considered a renewable energy source. But water isn't going to be here forever. It's not a renewable energy source. So it's actually like it's not really clean energy as much as people think it is.
So for people like me who we're in San Diego, I've never seen this dam. I've never been in the Klamath River. Tell me about the significance of removing them, especially for your community.
Yeah, there's this thing that happens a lot like with dams and is a direct cause of dams called eutrophication. And essentially that means that there's too many like nutrients and toxins in the river. And so that can mean like a bunch of algae. And what it does is it takes oxygen out of the water, and that makes fish die because fish also need oxygen in the water. And the algae, so essentially it like suffocates the fish and the fish die. In 2002, a lot of the fish died, and there was just so much fish washing up on shore and just like covered in algae. It was really gross and traumatic because the fish are a part of who we are, not just as Karuk people, but as Native people. Almost every single Native person I know eats salmon, and our people relied on salmon pre-colonization. And so that was one of the direct effects of the dams. And along with that, it's an invasion of our space and our people. And it's one of those things that was taken from us, like our river, and putting the dams in. It's a form of colonization and pain and heartbreak, and that's what comes from it.
The first descent would require 310 miles of paddling and take a month to complete. Not all of the kayakers would paddle the whole thing. Many would join the group for sections of the river that matched their skill level. But Tasia was keen to complete the entire route. To prepare, she completed 2 semester-long programs over the course of 2 years, learning how to safely navigate everything from calm lakes to powerful rapids. What was a typical day of training like? What types of rivers are you doing? What kinds of things do you have to know? What sort of skills do you have to learn? Like you went from kayaking, 3 days to like you're going to kayak for a 30-day paddle on class 4, class 5 rapids.
Yeah.
And to be the first. This is a big deal.
Yeah, the first is a big deal because no one had ever seen the river like that in over 100 years, and the river changes and the water changes, and no one totally knew what it was going to look like and how the water was going to be and how the rapids were going to be. But anyways, you have to know how to roll. That's like really important. There were some sections of the Klamath River descent where you had to apply to different sections, and not everyone would get to go to all the sections because of how either physically demanding it was or how challenging it was. And so if you were like, yeah, I want to do all the river and I want to do like as much of the Klamath River as I can, you got to go and work harder, and you got to go put in the hours and show the instructors and our teachers that you are ready and that you can do it. Like, we're gonna do it like in a couple months, like lock in, like go practice in the lake, bro. Like, come on now. Because there's also the lakes on the Klamath River that were horrible and torturous and pretty much just like living hell.
Why?
Well, for one, they're flat water, and so it doesn't help you get anywhere. And, well, actually, it's not flat water. There's waves, and they don't go in any particular direction because it's not a river and it's not just flowing downstream. And it was also windy, and the wind was blowing in the opposite direction, and it was really gross and really algae and really stinky.
Tasia, I'm learning so much from you. I think it's so interesting. I want to go back because one of the most important things you had to do is know how to roll. How long did it take you to learn how to roll?
I might sound like a badass, but I'm actually really scared of a lot of things. And so rolling was actually really scary. I absolutely, I locked in so hard. And I was just rolling on rolling on rolling. And I was like, that was my prime kayaking so far.
What else was really beneficial that you learned when you actually paddled?
Yeah, I think just perseverance and just you just got to keep going. Like Dory says, you just got to keep swimming.
Dory from The Little Mermaid.
No. That's from Little Nemo. Or Finding Nemo.
Dory, keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And that's what you got to do. You just got to keep going and...
Just keep paddling.
Just keep paddling. And it's hard. Kayaking is physically demanding, and it hurts your shoulders and your core and your elbows, and you just got to keep going. And also just going with the flow. Sometimes on kayaking trips, nothing is gonna go the way that you expect it to, and plans will change, and you'll miss your takeout, or you'll go down the wrong path on a rapid, and it's just not everything is gonna be perfect, and you just gotta go with the flow.
The sunshine is back, and I'm planning to spend the next few months outside, catching waves, camping, and hiking the trails all around San Diego. If your summer plans also involve spending as much time outside as possible, the REI Co-op MasterCard offers rewards and benefits that support your love of the outdoors. It's just for REI Co-op members and earns card rewards on every purchase at REI and everywhere else MasterCard is accepted. What I love is that rewards are available in 1 to 2 days. So all of those stops on the way to the adventure, from fuel for the drive to last-minute gear runs, it all adds up. See if you're pre-approved with no risk to your credit score. To learn more about the REI Co-op MasterCard program, head to rei.com/MasterCard-podcast. That's rei.com/MasterCard-podcast. Terms apply. When you're moving fast, covering ground, and chasing a wild adventure, the gear you carry matters. That's where Benchmade comes in. Headquartered in Oregon City, Oregon, Benchmade has been building purpose-driven knives since 1987. Their tools are designed to show up when it counts and last a lifetime. Every Benchmade knife comes with a lifetime warranty and free Life Sharp service, which means free sharpening forever. I love gear that's in it for the long haul. For nearly a decade, the Bug Out knife has been the standard for ultralight carry, ready for the trail, camp, and everyday utility. The new Bug Out Vapor takes that further with a slimmer, more refined build, made to move fast without extra weight. And now exclusively at REI, you can find the Bug Out 535BK-2504. It's the same trusted performance with a bold outdoor look that feels just as good at camp as it does back home. Check out Benchmade knives at your local REI or rei.com. After 2 years of training, Tasia Linwood and a group of Indigenous youths set out to make the first descent of the newly undammed Klamath River. They began in southern Oregon, at the headwaters of the Wood River, a tributary that feeds into the Klamath. This area is especially polluted because it's located above the two dams that still remain. Okay, take me to day one of this first ascent. Like, you guys, there's a crew of how many people? Where are you? And when exactly was this?
There was so much like going on. I was kind of scared. I was confused. I'm like, what's happening right now? And there's just like so many different boats and so many different people. And I'm like trying to find my boat and I got to adjust it so it fits my legs and my hips and my back. Just taking in what I'm doing and where I am. And also like making sure I'm staying present in the moment.
Where were you?
We were camping at the headwaters of the Wood River. And so we did 19.2 miles that day, and I want to say 3 of those miles were on the lake, and the lake was horrible. And when we go off the lake, the nasty lake, might I add, no showers, and the bathroom was bad. And then as we were kayaking down the Wood River, it turned into a lot of agriculture, and so the river, which was pristine at the headwaters, was like really kind of gross at the end of the river. And there was some bridges and there was mud and it smelled like cows. It smelled like farm and it was muddy and there was these bridges and the river and there was grass and sticks. And there was also really good Uncrustables. And also one of the instructors, he had Twizzlers, and they were really yummy, and there was really good snacks. And we were kind of just meandering because it was really slow water, because like the river is just like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was slow, and it was like very serendipity or something like that.
What did you do for food? You had some Uncrustables.
So every day during breakfast and right after breakfast, we would make ourselves lunch, and it was really sweet. Sometimes my best friend would make me my lunch and she'd put little notes on it and she'd make me little hearts on my little sack lunch.
It's fun having a bestie that does something hard with you or did something hard with you, and you have that shared experience. So where would you sleep?
I slept with her in her tent.
So every night you guys slept in tents, and you would kayak to a place, get out, and you'd set up your own tent.
Yeah, sometimes, but sometimes we were kind of tired and lazy and just didn't set up a tent and instead just like slept on the ground, like on a tarp with our blankets and pillows and each other.
Not a sleeping bag?
We had sleeping bags, but we also like brought an abnormal amount of blankets to make our living situation as comfortable as possible. So like we did use sleeping bags, but the blankets were the memorable part, and it was like so cozy. Like sometimes it looked like an actual bed because we would just like stack these blankets on top of each other and then have sleeping bags and then have other blankets on top of it. And it was like really cushiony and comfortable.
Tasia appreciated when she could use her cozy sleep setup, especially because the days on the river were long and often grueling. Between the heat from the sun, motion sickness from the lake waves, and muscle strain from paddling long distances, she was wiped by the end of the day. But there was always something to look forward to. Throughout the trip, the young kayakers had visitors from home and from Indigenous communities around the world, who all came to witness their journey and be part of this historic event. Some of Tasia's family members were even watching during one of the most intense moments of the paddle. Do you remember the biggest rapid you took?
I believe the biggest rapid I've done was Big Ike's, which is on the Klamath River. And there's a really funny story about this, is that my best friend was in front of me. Her name's Tay, by the way. So Tay was in front of me. There's these like 2 rocks, and there's like water going in between the rocks and then on both sides of the rocks. And we're supposed to go on the absolute right side. We kind of went like middle right, and we went over the rocks. So Tay got stuck in a hole, and your kayak can just keep circulating until it flushes you out. And I was behind her. I also flipped. I pushed her boat out, and my boat didn't get stuck. And so both of us got pushed out at the same time. And so on that day, my dad and my brother and some of my aunts and uncles and cousins came to watch from the highway, from like up on the cliffs. And so they saw all this happen, and my aunt was taking a video, and she was freaking out. She was like, oh my God, that's Tasia. She's in the hole. She's stuck. It wasn't me, though, so that's good. And they were all freaking out, and I'm so glad that my uncle and my dad were up on the cliffs, because if they weren't, they would have tried to jump in and, like, save me or something.
This sounds like a really adventurous trip.
It was something.
The hardest day was probably the day you did 19 miles or so.
Yeah, 19.2 miles. That was my first day.
And it was hard. Why?
It was hard. For one, the river part, the Wood River part was hard because, as I was saying earlier, it was just so like twisting and turning, and it was also really slow moving water. And so when the water is slow moving or not moving at all, it's really hard. It just doesn't help you in any way.
So what did you say to yourself on those days that it was really hard?
Well, in reality, I said, this is how you get muscles, so lock in. Because at the end of the day, this is how you get them abs. This is how you get them biceps. But on a more serious note, I also had to remind myself, like, this is hard and this is what I have to do. Like, this, it wasn't a choice to do the first descent or to not do the first descent. It was something that I had to do, not only for myself, but for my family and for my ancestors and for the people who went before me and didn't get to see the river undammed. And that's why I was doing it, and that's why I kept going.
Tell me more about that, especially as you approach the final day. That had to have been emotional.
It was so emotional. On one hand, I was like, damn, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to see my little sisters and just take a couple naps and just like relax. And on the other hand, I was like, now I have to leave. Like I have to leave my best friend, and I have to leave kayaking, and I'm not going to get to kayak until who knows when. We were staying at this like RV camp type place, and my grandpa was at the neighboring RV site, and so he was waving and hollering and singing. And so I got to see him right before I hit the ocean. And I went down, and you can hear everyone. And my aunt and my uncle were there in rafts and canoes. And then it was us, all the kayakers, in a line next to each other. And then behind us, we were followed by the rafts that had these people from all these different places. And we were all just hooting and hollering and singing. And we were just ecstatic. And then we got to the ocean. And it was just like, the emotion just like hit, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, wow, we're here, we made it, we did that. And it was an emotional day for all of us.
The first ascent was a huge physical feat, but it also symbolized something greater. After decades of fighting for the removal of these dams, the kayaking journey was a celebration of Indigenous pride, resilience, and sovereignty. I'm curious, like, how your family responded to you, your mom, your brothers and sisters, your aunties, your grandpa, your community.
Yeah, everyone was just like ecstatic and excited and proud. And like, there's like two hands to this, right? There's like, on one hand, it was fun, and it was like this awesome experience and once in a lifetime and exciting and fun and like those sorts of things. And then on the other hand, it's like, this is powerful and this is important, because not only at the last day, but there was spots along the way, all the way from Oregon to California, where there were people on bridges and people at our put-ins and takeouts, just like, they were just so excited and happy and like joyful. You know, like there's people like crying tears of joy for this and for us. And it was really beautiful.
Tasia's trip was captured by filmmaker Jesse Sears in the award-winning documentary First Descent, Kayaking the Klamath. We'll link to it in the show notes. If you want to find out more about paddle tribal waters, find them on Instagram at Rios to Rivers. That's RIOSTORIVERS. We'll also include a link in the show notes to purchase merch that supports the organization. Congrats to previous guest Chad Crusoe for breaking his own record. He skateboarded across the country in 39 days, finishing June 8th and raising a ton of money for the organization Natural High. Chad, we're so impressed by you. Wild Ideas Worth Living is part of the REI Podcast Network. It's hosted by me, Shelby Stanger, produced by Annie Fassler, Sylvia Thomas, and Sam Piers-Nitzberg of Puddle Creative. Our senior producer is Jenny Barber. Our executive producers are Paolo Motola and Joe Crosby. Thanks again to our partner, Capital One and the REI Co-op MasterCard. As always, we love it when you follow the show, take time to rate it, and write a review wherever you listen. And remember, some of the best adventures happen when you follow your wildest ideas.